In this video I'm going to be talking about how I made my experiments that was inspired by, this experiment was inspired by Jonas and Jack, their song Rise, and it's just about creating a really catchy melody. And the thing that really inspired this experiment was the sound design in that song. It's very sort of pan-flutious, it's got that sort of really nice tropical summery feel to it, and that's what I was sort of focusing on. I'll play through the experiment and I'll talk about what I've done to create it. That's what it sounds like. Right. So that's the experiment. It's 4 different melodies over the same chords and same bass line, just to generate some sort of idea of where this sort of experiment could go, and like if I was to take it to the next stage, where it could go. Because I've got 4 different ideas. All the sounds are the same in the whole experiment. I haven't changed anything on the process or anything about. Yeah. So I'll start off the kick. The kick's made up of 2 sounds. This sort of really sort of generic housey kick that it sounds like a basketball being hit. They sort of thumpy, and then with a little percussion on top. Both sounds from Vengeance, eventually on back to the sounds like this. And then we've got a bass line, which is made up of 2 sounds, a sub bass. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a sub bass made up of from Citrus, which is a sound which I make myself. So it's the original sound. Just turn that all the way down. You got yourself and then this is bass from Silent, which was from a sample pack. It's a saw bass which has been cut off the low pass? Yes, with a low pass, and then modulated down here. And on the bass, on the processing, I've sent them both to a bus. On the sub on its own channel, I've just taken away some really necessary. That's wrong around. I was taking that from the higher, low end. I think it works like that. But on the bus, there is wave shape on it, so there's some distortion, and then there's an LFO tool for the sidechain, and there's a new tone there, which is not meant to be there. Then there's this chord sound, really simple chords in the key of D major, which sounds like this. The first sound is this sort of, and this sound will sort of cover that sort of mid-range frequency. And then the second sound will sort of give it a bit more click and a bit more character, a bit more of a texture to it, by just covering that sort of high end, that high sort of, yeah, that's the high. Yeah, and then again these sounds are sent to a bus, which has just got some EQ. I'm taking everything out below 200 and then just a reverb on it to put it in a space. It's not even got any sidechain on it. So with the bass on the kick, it sounds like this. And then the last thing is the melody, the sound from the melodies. I won't go through every melody itself because it all sounds the same, but I'll just choose this one. So the idea behind the song is to have sort of a flute inspired sound, which is because I could have just used one sound, but I wanted to have a bit more of a character to it, which I think what Jonas did in his song. Because one of the sounds here, I think it's the second sound here, it's just a pan flute, which just sounds like this on its own. Which is what the sound I was going for, but I wanted to have a bit more of a character to it. So the first thing I did after that sound was add this sound, which actually turned out to be sort of the main sound in the front of the mix. Which is, I mean, it's still very sort of flute-like, but it's a silent preset from a sample pack, just with it's got a high pass on it, and with a triangle wave on the two oscillators here on A and B. Again, remodulated sound here. Really sort of covering that high and that really sort of top sort of 15k sort of range. And then the other two sound added to it is this sound, which is a Colo, from Nexus. Again, just sort of covering that sort of mid-range frequency. And in this sound, it's got a bit of a slide to it at the end. And that's just using legato down here. It's turned off. There's legato down. Just to slide, just get a bit of an ear candy sort of thing. And then the next sound is marimba. Just giving it a bit more of a pluck feel to it, and sort of again kind of that sort of mid-low, mid-range sort of frequency. And then the last sound from Harmer, which is an FL Studio plugin called Forest. Just a really smooth sound, just to sort of cover that mid-high frequency, that sort of in-between bit. It's really nice sound. And the last thing is, and the whole point of the whole experiment is that there's a swing on it up here in the right corner. If I took the swing off it, I think it sounds really boring. And what swing does, it just puts a few of the notes off beat, so it sounds really nice. Especially when the notes are sort of running down each other, so it goes in like I'll solo this bit with no swing. It's just like really sort of offbeat. It's really subtle, but I think it makes a real difference. And all these sounds are linked to sent to a bus, but individually there's no process on them. These two sounds are panned either side to make it sound more stereo. But on the bus itself, I've got some reverb, pretty reverb, with a short decay and quite a long wet. Some sidechain using LFO tool. You'll probably notice throughout I flick between LFO tool and Kickstart. It's whatever I click on first. Essentially, I'm not necessarily picking up both. I like both plugins. And then it's the EQ, which is really important. The first EQ is taking out all the low end below 400 in this case. The second EQ is this one. It's just boosting that sort of high end around 8k. It's like EQ is taking out a frequency. It's a resonate frequency. It also sort of needs, so I just ducked it a bit just to smooth out the sound a bit. I don't know if you can hear it, but through my monitors it's a really frustrating frequency. And it sort of smooths out the whole sound. So yeah, there's nothing else to explain with that. All four melodies are the same in terms of processing all the sounds. Sound design, I think maybe with this one? No, they're all the same. Which is really cool, but this wasn't necessarily about the sound design or the composition or like having effects. It was just about focusing on the melody and putting its own really catchy, which I think I've done with this. I like all four, but my favourite is this one. Yeah. I really like this sort of call and response. It's this bit, that and then the. It's that sort of really sort of tension and release. I quite like it. Yeah, that's how I made this experiment. It was tried by Jonas in Rise, his song Rise with Jackie Jack. Cheers.